And we are coming to you live at 6 a.m. with new video of a vegetation fire off the 805. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Groh, in for Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Irampur. So glad to have you here with us. And take a look here. This fire happened about 3:30 this morning. It's right near Home Avenue in the Fairmount Park area. And at one point, the fire could be seen from the freeway. So, of course, crews were called out. They were quickly there putting out those flames. You see quite a few fire engines there and no more smoke or flames in the area. Firefighters are now looking into what may have caused it. Today does mark a new push for safety after a series of crashes involving military aircraft in the past week. That includes a crash that killed 5 Camp Pendleton Marines.
The Navy is calling a safety pause for all non-deployed aircraft. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live outside NAS North Island in Coronado with a closer look. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning, Chris and Netta. That's right. After these incidents, the Navy is taking a deep dive into everything they do with a strict safety lens. So today, crews will be reviewing risk management practices for all those non-deployed Marine and Navy aircraft. So to understand what does a safety pause really mean, we spoke to a former Navy pilot.
It's not uncommon, as you know, for someone to say routine flight operations in aviation. Well, I can tell you that routine flight operations are not really routine. They're very dangerous.
Now, that was Jim Kendrick. He was a Navy pilot for 21 years, also now the CEO of the San Diego Air and Space Museum. Kendrick does agree with the move, saying this was the right time to review things that are so important to safety. Now, the first tragedy happened last week on Wednesday. A Marine Corps Osprey crashed near Glamis, killing 5 Camp Pendleton-based Marines. Then, just the very next day, a helicopter from here at Naval Air Station North Coronado crashed near Yuma. Luckily, all 4 of those crew members survived. Now, those incidents remain under investigation as the service hasn't released the details regarding what caused those. Now, everyone around the planes, from maintenance to aviators, will undergo reviews and trainings today. Now, that safety pause will be conducted today, but we're also being told that all deployed aircraft, Navy and Marines, once they return, they will have those safety reviews at the most opportune time, the closest happening today. So, of course, if you want any more information on the 2 incidents that happened, you could read more on CBS8.com. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, coming to you live.
And this morning, an investigation is underway into a deadly crash involving multiple vehicles on the 163 in Mission Valley. It happened around 10 last night along the northbound lanes just off Friars Road. One person died after a vehicle was hit, went down an embankment, hit a storage building and burst into flames. It's unclear what caused the crash. And this morning, firefighters are trying to figure out what caused a brush fire that threatened homes in Oceanside. It started yesterday afternoon along Walla Drive, just south of Camp Pendleton. At one point, the fire forced people living in surrounding neighborhoods to evacuate. Thankfully, it did not burn any homes. The fire burned 75 acres and no one was hurt. Meantime, a fire is burning right now in the Far East County near Dulzura, 2 miles south of Barrett Junction. It started just before 7 p.m. and has burned 65 acres so far. CAL FIRE says the flames are spreading in a very remote area that fire engines can't get into. They can't easily access that area. But officials say it isn't threatening any homes. No evacuation warnings or orders are in place.
Now, this morning, a bipartisan group of senators have a new deal that could lead to tighter gun laws. The proposal includes enhanced background checks. This would be for gun buyers under 21, incentives for states to implement red flag laws, and funding for mental health services. We did talk to the group San Diego County gun owners about the deal.
A little unclear. I'm definitely interested in specifics on some of these. But they do talk about some good things like fixing the mental health system in the United States and securing schools, providing funding for securing schools, which is something that the federal government can absolutely do.
Meantime, the group San Diegans for Gun Violence Prevention says it is disappointing to see that it's taken years to get to this point.
Every single day that goes by that the government tries to kick the can down the road, they're allowing more deaths to happen. And that is the worst and most tragic part of this. This is preventable.
The bipartisan deal was announced one day after gun reform advocates rallied across the country on Saturday. That include rallies here in San Diego. Today, 2 county supervisors pushing to hold gun manufacturers accountable for gun violence. Board Chair Nathan Fletcher and Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer introducing a policy that would allow the county to pursue legal action. This would be against firearm manufacturers. They'll announce more details on that this afternoon.
And in just 1 hour, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol resume a second day of hearings. Now, today's focus is expected to be on former President Trump's efforts to spread misinformation about a stolen election. At this time, panel members say they have enough evidence to weigh potential criminal indictment against Trump.
Ultimately, once the evidence is accumulated by the Justice Department, it needs to make a decision about whether it can prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt the president's guilt or anyone else's. But they need to be investigated if there's credible evidence, which I think there is.
In March, a federal judge said in a civil court ruling that Trump had, quote, more likely than not committed federal crimes in seeking to obstruct the congressional counting of ballots. CBS News will have a special report when today's hearing begins at 7 a.m. You can watch here on CBS 8 as well as our website and app. Our local news will continue on the CW San Diego. And this morning, the Supreme Court could be prepared to overturn Roe versus Wade. The court will release opinions starting at 7 a.m. A leaked draft opinion from last month showed that 5 justices were ready to strike down Roe v. Wade, meaning that abortion rights could be up to individual states. However, the Supreme Court doesn't say which cases will be released, so it's not clear whether the abortion decision will actually come down today.
And now this morning, a 17-day streak of gas price increases. Well, it's over. Overnight, the price for a gallon of regular went down slightly. It is now $6.36, as you see there, still very high. But it did drop just 0.2 of a cent, so a little teeny tiny decrease. Rising gas prices have pushed inflation to a 40-year high now, coming up at $6.24. We're going to take a look at what's being done this week to address our inflation crisis. And in just a few hours from now, new bike lanes will be at the center of a protest in University Heights. CBS 8 has been working for you to cover the mile-long project. It stretches from Adams Avenue down to University. Some people are concerned the project will mean less parking spaces. City staff says their intention not to create a parking issue, noting the changes they made to the initial plan. In fact, they originally called to get rid of 250 spaces, and the current plan eliminates about 1/3 of those parking spaces. The city also says they'll be more transparent about their plans in the future.
Take a look at this crazy video that you're watching. This morning, a dog is safe after getting loose inside the gorilla enclosure at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, and it was chased by a gorilla. Watch it.
No! Ah! No! Oh my God! Oh my God, I'm about to get so scared.
Now, a viewer sent us this video. It happened around 4 yesterday afternoon. It's still unclear how the dog got inside. A lot of people wanting to know, did this dog belong to someone? Is it a stray? It's believed he wandered in on his own somehow. You can see the cute little pup right there. We're told zoo staff moved the gorillas out. Then Humane Society officers got the dog out. The pup was taken to the Humane Society's Escondido campus, where he is being evaluated. He didn't have a microchip, so he will stay there until they find his owner.
Wow, that is a big gorilla, Franklin,
yes,
right there.
Franklin.
So yeah, you can imagine the dog was scared, and the gorilla too. They probably never have seen this happen before.
No, and then
met a dog before.
And you got to imagine all the customers and people there at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park looking and saying, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Franklin wasn't messing around there.
No.
But at least
Franklin's the protector.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the dog didn't look too phased by it. He was just like...
Just running really fast.
Yeah,
He was running.
he was running pretty fast, but once he got into that, once he was brought to safety, he seemed like he was like, that was fun.
That was nice. Do it again next time.
Right. Let's take a look at what's going on outside. Your forecast is showing marine layer clouds are along the immediate coast. They're pushing inland, stronger onshore flow today, and it looks like all throughout this week we could encounter low clouds and fog, temperatures along the coastline cooler, and then as you head inland, we'll see that warm up a little bit more pronounced. Here's the view from San Miguel, starting off your morning. 5:40 was the sunrise, so about a half hour ago. Sunsets come in at nearly 8 p.m. 7:57 is when we'll see that sunset. Here's the forecast for the day across all 4 microclimates. With those strong onshore flow, we're going to see the gustiest of winds across your mountains and deserts. Across your coastline, we're going to stay mostly in the upper 60s and low 70s. Sea breeze continues to keep things a little bit more moderate, whereas inland will be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Across the board, we're cooler than yesterday, but throughout this week, today through about Thursday, we're going to keep those temperatures climbing. Important to keep in mind, along the coast, we'll climb by maybe 2 or 3 degrees, whereas inland will climb by about 10 degrees. It's a lot more pronounced for your 3 microclimates here, inland, mountains, deserts. Those are the spots to keep an eye on for a bigger warm up. Whereas along the coast, clouds remain through the morning. They're pretty stubborn out there, at times pretty low to the ground. Right now, we do have them pretty low down, and they're also stretching pretty far off to the east with that strong onshore flow. It'll be about 10, 11 a.m. that we'll start to see them pull back quite a bit and give plenty of sunshine to us by the afternoon hours. Let's talk about what's going on in traffic. Quite a bit of congestion. Want to take you to the downtown area all the way through the South Bay. So for starters, we've got the right-hand shoulder blocked with a crash on the 805 northbound at 32nd Street. Also on the 5, we've got the road blocked with a stalled vehicle on the 5 southbound. This is from the exits that you see there, including the 163 as well as 16th Street exit. Want to also show you just what Caltrans is tweeting out about this. They say northbound 805 to eastbound westbound 805 is closed. Multiple traffic collisions on northbound 805 just south of the 8. So that's what we're seeing there on the map with this major congestion. This could be because of the closures that we see on those lanes. Right now, CHP has updated to say that whatever crash this was that took place on the northbound 805 does involve injuries. So we're trying to get more information from them as to what those injuries are or when they'll be able to reopen those lanes. But for now, expect some congestion there. Back to you.